Is a description of a certain style, which is the combination of having power but restraining it at the same time. In work, politics, home life, or anything involving decision making, you obtain information that you know to be true and also have information from different factors or different opinions of others who see things in a different light. This style described in this paragraph is knowing that you have the power to do things your way or the way you think is correct, but also having the ability or discretion to balance out your opinion with other opinions or other factors that might be either more pleasing to others or believed in a smaller group of people.
In question 17, it says, by doing justice to the implicit in line 1, it is meant that, and doing justice to the implicit basically means that you're giving light to factors or opinions of other things that are hidden or unspoken. And so when we look at the question, we can automatically eliminate C and E because both of these answers mean that you're doing the opposite of justice to the unknown or implied. You're actually hiding it. Answer A is not the best answer because illicit means that it is not legally permitted, but this doesn't cover all of the aspects of implicit. B is not correct because by doing justice to the implicit, you are not making a clear statement or shouting it out to the world. All you're doing is just acknowledging that view or opinion that hasn't really been shown to everyone. D is the correct answer because by taking into account what is not apparent, you are taking information that is apparent and clear, and you're balancing it with the factors that may not be very known, and you're acknowledging the perspective that might be different from the popular view, which ultimately gives justice to the implicit. In number 18, it says that style in the context of this passage most nearly means, and as we look at the passage, we see that style talks about how you're holding back your power and everything that you know to be true, and you're kind of combining it with other opinions. And so in this question, we see that E is automatically eliminated because this style is described as a style that holds back your power and not shows it off. D is also an easy answer to take off because by taking into account other opinions, in most cases, you're not trying to avoid embarrassing situations. B is another that doesn't quite fit the situation because when you have this style and you use it, you're not trying to give a compliment. You're just trying not to be too biased to your opinion. When choosing between answer A and C, the answer C, an urbane willingness to restrain one's power, is the best answer because when you are writing and talking to the people around you, you have the power to control the situation and the ability to state what you might think is a fact or the best answer. But by restraining one's power and taking into consideration other factors or opinions, you are performing this style, which is the definition.
According to the author, action should pay deference to uncertainty because in lines 12 to 13, it has that sentence, so you should refer back to that. But for question 19, you can look at all the answers and realize that B, C, and D cannot be chosen because 1, B says reason and power are really identical, but by looking back, you can see that deference, that action pays to uncertainty, it really has no reference to reason and power at all. And for C, it says style is an uncertain achievement. By also looking back, you can tell that there is nothing that says anything about achieving a goal or doing something good. And at D, it says certainty must be active and aggressive. There is no aggression or certainty about it. In fact, it says uncertainty. So your two choices left are A and E. And for A, it says all actions should be certain. So it's saying that you need to be completely sure of yourself, but that's incorrect because uncertainty is inherent in most acts, which is answer number E. And that is correct because the uncertainty inherent in most acts is saying on lines 12 and 13 that action pays to uncertainty, that to be uncertain, you have to be inherent. For question number 20, the passage is an appeal for A. The correct answer is E. You can immediately rule out answer choice A, which says that it is an appeal for a firmer, more aggressive foreign policy, because the paragraph is discussing peace and harmony, and that clearly does not come from being more aggressive. The next answer choice can be ruled out easily as answer choice C, that says it is an appeal for a breezier, more controversial style of diplomacy, because it is directly stated that the goal is to act effectively, but not absolutely. Conversation-style diplomacy would not be effective in this country, especially when it comes to foreign policy. The next answer choice that you can knock out is D, that says it is an appeal for a foreign policy that takes into account the moral law, because there isn't anything about morals mentioned in the passage. This leaves us with B, which says that it is an appeal for a more elegant style in the conduct of foreign policy. And E, harmony between ends and means in foreign policy. The entire second half of the paragraph is about finding the happy medium between two different things, such as affirmation with limitation, which makes it clear that the correct answer choice is E.
Question number 21 is, if one were to take seriously the advice about style given in the passage, one's own style would become more. And there are three answer choices that you can immediately rule out simply by using obvious knowledge from the passage without even understanding the deep meaning. The answer choices that I ruled out are B, positive and confident, D, formal and serious, and E, firm and aggressive. The reason why these can be crossed out is because the passage is about finding a style that can create harmony and balance. All these adjectives described are ones that would not be used to describe peace and balance, which is why they would not ever be used to describe the style if they were trying to base it off the style from the paragraph. This leaves us with answer choice A, subtle and prudent, and C, free and unrestricted. Seeing as the style described in the passage is about being able to restrain one's power, free and restricted would not be the words that describe this restraint. This leaves you with the answer choice of A, subtle and prudent. Question number 22 is, the style of the passage itself is best characterized as, and the first answer choice that is pretty obviously wrong is A, informal and colloquial, because this paragraph is clearly not informal and is actually formal, especially when looking at the language used in it. Next, you can rule out B, light and uncomplicated, because based on the language used in it, because based on the use of conflicting words throughout the paragraph, it is very difficult to understand due to its complexity. The third answer choice that is easy to rule out is C, ironic and sarcastic, because throughout the paragraph there is not a hint of irony or sarcasm, which makes it obvious that this answer choice would not be best to characterize the paragraph. This leaves you with answer choice D, complex and formal, and E, pedantic and ornate. When comparing these two, although it would be possible to say the paragraph is pedantic, the best and most apparent characterizing words would be complex and formal, which brings you to the correct answer choice of D.